The result would be, of course, a penalty kick. Soren Carriage would take it, and Scott Manning would try to stop it. But Manning wouldn't need to make a save. The Sockers' top scorer in the regular season missed. And perhaps it was an omen of things to come. Kenny Cooper and the Baltimore Blast were able to breathe a sigh of relief, but still trailed 3-1 with only moments left in the game. Now with the Blast net empty for an extra attack, a missed opportunity for Steve Jungle, as he would miss the open net, and then the Blast would run it down to the other end of the field. And Kai Huskavy would find an unmarked Billy Ronson, who scored to make it 3-2 San Diego. Now the Blast had the crowd back in the game, and they had a flicker of hope. For the Sockers, this was reminiscent of Game 2 against Dallas, when the Dallas Sidekicks came from behind to win a very important game. Then the Sockers take a penalty, and it was up to Ronson and Mobilio to tie it. Metric chasing it, keeps it in. 10 seconds left. Here's Ronson off the glass, and they tie it! Mobilio has tied it! Arena was bedlam, and the San Diego Sockers, Victor Noguera not the least of which, were absolutely stunned. What seemed like a sure win was about to slip away. The game would go to sudden death overtime, and all the momentum belonged to the Baltimore Blast. Bruce Savage, trying to work the ball into the front of the net, had it rejected, but somehow it found Billy Ronson's foot, who put the ball in for the game winner. The most remarkable comeback in a league championship game ever. 4-3 Baltimore, the final score in overtime. Now it's on to Game 2, and the question is, can the Sockers recover from their most devastating loss ever? It's on Prime Ticket next.
Sockers. Exciting Major Indoor Soccer League action is brought to you by Low & Brown.
Baltimore's Inner Harbor is often the talk of this charming city and a favorite destination for locals and tourists alike. This is downtown Baltimore, heart of this historic city. And this is the Baltimore Arena, an arena that sits on land that once was the site of the Continental Congress Hall, where in 1776, General Baltimore, Maryland. Prime Ticket continues its coverage of the 1989 Major Indoor Soccer League playoffs. Tonight's MISL Championship Series continues with game number 2, as the defending champion San Diego Sockers take on the Baltimore Blast. Cast on Extra News Talk 690. Well, last night a devastating loss for the San Diego Sockers. They were robbed in Game 1, losing 4-3 in overtime. Bill McDonald, I can't remember the Sockers ever losing such a big game in such a fashion, and they were absolutely devastated afterwards.
Well, you're right on both counts. They were disappointed because not only did they control the tempo, but they executed their game plan perfectly. They should have won the game.
The Sockers knew they'd have to stop a couple of key people. One was Billy Ronson, who they did until the last minute. The other one, Mobilio, same story, last minute.
Oh, he has been a killer to everyone around the Major Indoor Soccer League all season long, and especially here in the playoffs. He's having a great playoff series, Dominic Mobilio is. He has 11 goals. He's just doing everything absolutely right. He was in and around the goal perfectly, and he just got that game-tying goal just very, very late.
Mobilio obviously a key for the Baltimore Blast. Tied with Ronson and Rasmussen for the playoff goal lead with 11.
And he also tied the game, as mentioned last night, with 7 seconds left. Dominic Mobilio, boy, is he great in and around the box. And Dominic was as surprised as anybody that he was left unmarked at the back post.
I was very surprised that San Diego in that situation with 10 seconds to go, they're such a great team. You never expect to be open like that. It's always tough to get goals. And, you know, I've had this kind of luck all year. You know, I've been in the right place at the right time, and I've been, you know, lately I've been seeming to get the goals at the tying or in the last seconds of the game. And it's just, I hope it keeps up and can do it a few more times.
He talks about that luck all season long. I saw him beat the Lasers twice this year on goals similar to that.
Of course, we know Ron Newman's a great coach. Boy, has he got his work cut out for him tonight. He's got to get the team to forget about last night's outcome, but get them to play the same style of game.
You talked about the devastation in the locker room. Boy, was it quiet. Now Ron, the master motivator, has to get his team ready to play today. We talked to him earlier, and he talked about that disappointing loss last night.
Well, it was because we felt we could have been even more than 3-1 up when they pulled the goalkeeper. The big key was to win the ball. We did. We had a couple of great chances. From one of those chances, they got the break and made it 3-2. And then I thought the key was then the sixth foul, which gave Baltimore the opportunity to get the equaliser. And we thought that was a bit hard. The dressing room was very quiet after the game.
What Ron also said is he called Kenny Cooper the luckiest man in the world, and he must have been kissing his Blarney Stones to get a win like that.
Well, the Sockers have been in tight spots before in the playoffs. Remember, it's still only one game old. We'll see if they can bounce back tonight in game number 2. The opening kickoff is coming up next. This is the Championship Series, and it's here on Prime Ticket. An extra news stock.
2 veterans and William Lower will be in the box tonight. Same matchup in goal tonight. It'll be Scott Manning for the Baltimore Blast. This year in the playoffs, excellent record of 5-1. Goals against average of just over 3.5. Nogueira once again gets the call for the Sox. He's at 500 in the playoffs at 4-4. Goals against of 3.66. Starting lineups in front of the 2 keepers. First of all, for the Sockers, Wilhelms and Crow in the back. Quinn, Dougherty, and Willie up front. Dougherty and Willie played very well last night. Manning, Whitman, Savage in the back. And, of course, Billy Ronson, oh, is he having a great playoff series. Sweeney and Byrne up front. These 2 teams battled it out 8 times during the regular season. Baltimore won 6 of them. San Diego only won twice. One, however, was a dominating win here on this floor during the regular season by the score of 7-1. Sockers should have won last night's game. Quite frankly, they played very well for 58.5 minutes, and then the last frantic seconds, Baltimore took it. In the playoff history for the Baltimore Blast, well, they have won 7 out of 8 playoff series after winning game number 1, and they certainly won last night in dramatic style.
And we are set to get underway with game number 2 here at the Baltimore Arena. On the simulcast, the Sockers defending the net to our right and attacking right to left. San Diego again dressed in the road navy jerseys and shorts, and the gold socks with gold and white lettering and trim. Their score uniforms from American. Here's Nogueira. Looking for Willie and finding him. Now Willie trying somehow to work it in front. Gets it to Dougherty, leaves it, and Quinn's shot on target. Nice move by Dougherty to let that go through. Quinn, I think, gave a shout to Paul. Said, hey, let it go, I'm trailing. And the Sockers with a scoring chance, but Manning with the save. Down to 2:50 to go here in the first period. Fernandez comes to center. Left foot pass up to Willie. Gets by him. Dougherty after the loose ball. In front, Fernandez settling it. Quinn shoots and scores! And the Sockers take the lead. And a nice play all the way around. So as they did in game 1, the Sockers strike first. It's San Diego 1, Baltimore nothing.
Dougherty, and he keeps it alive as he's triple teamed in the corner. Out to Fernandez, off to Quinn, who just fires it over the right shoulder of Manning. Manning says, give me some help. Well, hey, Scott, try for it. Here's a shot out on top by Quinn, who just lets it go. I think he thought maybe his defender in front might have stopped it, but all Manning did was wave goodbye to that one. It was in the back of the net, a seed off of the foot of Brian Quinn, and it's 1-0 Sockers. Great play by Dougherty to set it off. They haven't seen much in the first game and throughout the first period of this one. Up and down soccer. It's been pretty controlled. The tempo has not been boring, but it has lacked down a little bit. And right there, a couple of up and downs by both teams.
Here's Dougherty with a steal. Still lots of time. In front to Willie. Off the wall. Getting the rebound is Dougherty. But then on the second effort, Ronson comes in, and it's a foul, San Diego.
Willie is still fooling the Blast with that play off the boards to himself. I don't think they've learned quite yet. And Al and Willie going to continue to use it.
Sockers on the foul limit now. Just 10 seconds left, though. They'll try and work it up for a forward man. And the foul called this time the other way. David Byrne throws the elbow at Fernandez as they go up.
That's a good play by George because he took a little bit of a chance going up and over Byrne.
Now 7 seconds. And Nogueira will just kill the clock here. Takes a look up, and he'll just lob it upfield. So that is the end of the first period of play.
Shows you what I know, Randy. I thought it'd be high scoring, 1-0, just like last night.
Now let's pause for a moment so that our stations can identify them. Talk about Kevin Crowe, a 5-time All-Star Bill McDonald, 36 points this year, and he still had the defense, 114 blocks.
Well, you got to compare that 36 points to his first 4 years, 28 goals, 42 assists, 70 points. So you can just see the tremendous production that he had this year comparatively, and I think with Clavillo gone, it was really his defense.
Here's Black chasing one into the zone now. So is Savage. He'll try and come out with it. We have Jungle on the field now, I believe, Bill, for the first time in the game. Here's Cacho, looks for Jungle. Alan Willie also out there running on the front line. Cacho keeping it alive in the midfield. He's done a job so far tonight. Back comes Willie. Off the wall. Steve Jungle there, but wrong side of the ball. Good job by Valentine cutting him off. Steve keeping it going. Back to Cacho at the line. He'll turn away from Savage and play it to Fernandez.
Well, what you've got now is Jungle breaking a little bit of a sweat and getting loose here in the first half.
Willie hits one wide. Rebound comes over to Black. 1-0 Sockers. They lead it here in the second period. Steve backdoor for Willie. Mobilio's there. And now he'll toe poke it ahead, looking for Savage. Again, Cacho on the spot. Cacho was used sparingly last night, so he should be pretty fresh, and he looks it. Here's Jungle. Has Karich with it. Holding off the defender Metric. Now poked back for Fernandez. Quinn calling for it. He gets it. You may be able to hear him in the background there on our field mics. Quinn has that high-pitched voice, and when he wants the ball, you can hear him squawking away. Fernandez into the open corner. Quinn had backed out. I think Fernandez thought he might have gone deep. Jungle, good play along the wall. Some physical action there to get the ball loose. Now it comes to Black at the right point.
Physical and deliberate right now.
Here's an overlap to Hermes. The shot, he scores! Juan Hermes had just come off on a great line change, Bill McDonald. The timing couldn't have been more perfect, and it's 2-0. A Hermes goal gives the Sockers a 2-0 lead. 4:03 left to go here in the second period.
Black, and you hear us mention running to open space, and that's exactly what Hermes did. His third good opportunity on the left wing side, and this time he blazed it home. But give Black credit. The key here is he put tremendous pace on this ball. Just a perfect ball to Hermes, who could strike it in full stride and ram it home. Hey, Ralph Black just says, hey, all in a day's work. Why do you celebrate? 2-0 Sockers, and the crowd gets a little anxious.
Controls to Karich, shoots, and Manning saves it. Rebound, McAllis, and it's in the goal or out. What's the play? No goal. The Sockers are screaming that it was inside the net. Jungle was inside the goal and felt the ball was too. Now Karich a drive, hits the referee. McAllis off the glass, and it's pinball in the Baltimore zone. Crowe gets back for it, sends it right back in. Manning up in the air, free ball. Jungle to Karich, and it went through his legs. Zorin battling for it, tripped up in the corner, no foul. Tried to buy one there, he took a dive. And now Valentine with 15 seconds left to burn, as the Blaster now just going to be happy to get out of this period without giving up another goal. And it looked so close to one down at the other end a moment ago. Byrne with 3 seconds left, and they're going to run out the clock here in the first half. Well, Scott Manning facing a barrage in the final seconds. A ball that seemed to be in the net. Jungle was back there in the goal, screaming for the light to come on, but it didn't. Another look at it on the simulcast. This is Brian Quinn over to Karich. Karich decides to shoot left foot. Manning makes the save, and now it comes back out to the right. McAllis will run onto it, and it hit Manning in the back. Did it go into the goal or not? Well, it's up in the air. He bats it away. It hits somebody and comes out. Jungle says it crossed the plane of the goal, but the goal judge doesn't agree. Another look at it from a much better angle on the simulcast. There's the save by Manning. Now watch it hit the boards and then hit Manning in the back. There's the ball, and did it cross? I don't think so. Manning reached back in time. Of course, when the ball's in the air, that's an imaginary plane, and a tough call either way. Well, the scoring in the first quarter, Brian Quinn, his second of the playoffs from George Fernandez at 12:23. Then Hermes with a blast that beat Manning from Ralph Black at 10:57. And through 2 periods of action here in Baltimore in Game 2, it's the Sockers 2, the Blast nothing. This is the MISL Championship Series. On road-weary San Diego Sockers return to the sports arena, down 3-2 in their best-of-7 semifinal series with the Dallas Sidekicks. And home had been kind to the Sockers in the past when facing elimination, but was the mystique still alive in '89? Well, early on, San Diego was playing on another level. Steve Jungle would score a late first-period goal, one of the prettiest of his storied career, and the Sockers would jump ahead of Dallas 2-0 in their effort to stay alive. But then the Dallas Sidekicks would begin to make the mistakes that they had been known to avoid earlier on the series, and that the Sockers had in fact been guilty of. Mike Powers, with some help on the pressure from Chris Chuden, would give the ball away in front of the net to Wad Hermes, his 6th playoff goal through the legs of Sobieski, and San Diego led 3-0. But then the pesky Sidekicks would rally, as they had throughout the year and really throughout their history. Michael King's goal here late in the 3rd period made it 3-2 San Diego, and the Sockers would need to reach back and find a little bit extra, or Dallas may come back all the way. And not surprisingly, Bronco Segota had the answer. He would score 2 key goals early in the 4th, taking a pass from his goalkeeper Victor Nogueira and doing all the rest alone with a well-placed left foot shot. That had the Sockers faithful thinking that there in fact could be a Game 7 in this series. And less than 2 minutes later, Segota made sure of it. Taking the ball off the wall, Bronco would do the rest by himself again. After working free, a shot that deflected in, and the outcome was no longer in doubt. The Sockers cruised to a 7-2 victory over Dallas, and there would in fact be a 7th game. And now the Sockers had the city on their side. Nearly 12,000 filling the sports arena for the deciding game of the series. And what they witnessed was a defensive gem for San Diego. Great blocking by the defense in front of Victor Nogueira. They collectively were flawless. For Dallas, goalkeeper Joe Papaleo also figured prominently, keeping the league's top-scoring team in the regular season off the board for most of the night. But then it was time, thanks to the fans in part, for Bronco Segota to emerge once again. On the power play, playing despite a pulled hamstring, Segota would plant a seed into the top left-hand corner of the Dallas net. It would be the only goal of a thrilling game. And then Victor Nogueira would preserve for himself a rare shutout and even rarer in postseason play. Nogueira would finish the contest with 8 saves, his first ever shutout in the playoffs, and the Sockers would beat Dallas by a score of 1-0. The mystique was still alive. The building was wild, and the Sockers would go to the championships in 1989.
Get a chance to look at the pertinent numbers of that first half of action. As we take a look at the stats, shots on goal, San Diego out shooting Baltimore by a wide margin, 15-8. Blocks were even at 4. 9 saves for Manning, 4 for Nogueira. Nobody had a power play in the first half.
Back to the action now, 14:53 left early here, and it's Hermes with a shot and another drive, and he scores. And the Sockers come out and score the first goal, Bill. Exactly what the Blast didn't need.
Oh, exactly. We said they needed a wake-up call. Now they're in a deep sleep. Down 3-0. Great play by the Sockers just 12 seconds into the 3rd quarter, and it's Hermes again. And give him credit, it came on the rebound with the other foot. As he was sprawling to the Baltimore turf, he put it past Scott Manning. Work out in front, the ball came free. Hermes hit it with his left foot. Then he immediately went over and turned and wheeled and fired, and I don't think Scott Manning was ready for that shot again. That was Kevin Crow that kept it alive in the corner. Crow headed it to Willie. Then Willie will get it for Crow, back heel, and Manning is just all over the place, never really set. Whitman can't get back defensively, and Hermes tucks it in the near post. 3-0 San Diego. Waddy's 9th goal to the playoffs and his 2nd goal tonight. Sockers in charge.
Unassisted, of course, unless you can give yourself an assist. And Hermes gives the Sockers the biggest cushion they've had in this series. Here's a chance for the Blast down at the other end. Byrne going upstairs. Quinn now will work it upfield. First time I think we've seen Fogarty for the Blast out there and at the wrong end of a tackle thanks to Paul Wright, who picks up the first foul. Here's Mobilio, who, like last night, along with Ronson, has been silent.
Oskavy is posting up, but they're denying him the ball.
A change from earlier strategy. Mobilio, a chance, he scores!
Huge goal. Big goal for the Blast. You know, what did we say about having a knack for the ball? Somehow it finds Mobilio as if it had a magnet in it. Valentine out on top, marked very well by Fernandez. Then Savage just knocks it off. Mobilio fans, but somehow gets it past Jungle. So give Mobilio credit, he stayed with it and fired it upstairs. The play went into the corner, Cacho went after it, Savage played it off the boards nicely. Mobilio with the right foot, no. With the left foot, yes. Tucks it underneath, 3-1. Baltimore needed it. 12th goal of the playoffs for Dominic Mobilio, leads the league.
Rebound away to Burns.
Sockers have to slow this tempo way down. Baltimore is buzzing around the hive right now, and they're very close to scoring. Sockers have to get that tempo down.
Fogarty, a body check into Black. That's the 5th foul. Fogarty obviously attempting to establish a physical presence out there, but he's putting the Blast dangerously into foul trouble.
Again, the pressure on David Byrne, and again, it's Black and Fogarty. He's still trying to pay back.
On the restart, Blast win it. Here's Ronson to the line, to the right. Wall ball in the mixer. Who's got it? Cacho in the corner. Can he clear it? And it's in the net.
And who else? Mobilio. Mobilio immediately moves towards the back post and gets the tap in right on the line. 13 goals, 8 games for Dominic Mobilio, the first-year player out of Canada. The scramble in the corner started by Ronson. The inability for the Sockers to A, clear, and B, Nogueira to hold on. Freddie Thompson does the dirty work along with Billy Ronson. Ronson beats 2 players, but a little miscommunication as Fernandez tried to play it back for Nogueira, and Mobilio gets what you would call, well, to be very nice, a lucky goal.
Visions of a night ago. It's 3-2 San Diego, 5:07 left. Slap of the hand by Nogueira. Now the outlet to Jungle. One-on-one. Shoots and scores! What a goal by Steve Jungle.
That was the best distribution of the night by Nogueira. He took just 1 step instead of the usual 2. He's been hop, skipping, and jumping and throwing that ball late all night. This time, he just came out and gunned it to Jungle, and that was one of the main factors that Jungle was able to come in one-on-one and score. This is the tail end of it. Jungle with the toe poke, and Manning just wasn't ready for it. He thought Steve was going to make another move, and the rookie, Troy, just took a lesson from the master. Troy, he thought he was in position, and Jungle just fired it quickly. But you got to give just as much credit to Nogueira. Boy, did he come up firing. 4-2.
Steve's 8th playoff goal. And what a great career it's been in the postseason for Steve Jungle.
4-time MVP of the playoffs in 80, 81, 82, and 85, and he's the all-time leader in playoff scoring with 185 points, and he just adds another one. Big play for San Diego. And Baltimore still on 5 fouls.
1:47 to go. Here's a ball that comes to Nogueira. Banged into the boards a little further by Mobilio. Not enough for a foul. Now the outlet to Ralph Black. Sockers need to work the ball up to the front man. That's a poor pass by Black. Nowhere near Willie, and they give it back to Baltimore late here in the period. Just when they come back and score a key one, they cough it back up. Valentine chased back to center. They're going to do their best to keep the ball away from San Diego. Hard to commit a foul when you have the ball. Here's Mobilio. Turns, plays it off the wall for Metric. It comes back on the carom to Nogueira. He looks outlet now and just fires it up the field to Carriage. Zorin, between two Baltimore players, loses it. And here's Valentine with a minute to go in the period. Valentine to the San Diego red line to Hoskevy overlapping, and Nogueira got a hand on it. Slapped it down with the right hand. Hermes hammering at it. We have a foul. It's against Baltimore. Mobilio pushing off Fernandez. Then he bumps into the referee Mock, and he could get another two if he's not careful. But the Sockers are going to go on a power play here late in the third. Mobilio continuing to argue his case with Kelly Mock. Hoskevy intervenes to try and keep the peace. But San Diego, with the best power play in soccer this year, is going to get a chance to work on it. Boy, Mobilio's getting a lot of freedom from Kelly Mock. Obviously, Mock understands the serious nature of a penalty against Baltimore at this time. Sockers, regular season, 31%, and right now they're verging on 47%. 7 playoff goals in 15 attempts on the power play for San Diego. David Byrne in the box for Baltimore. The Blast in the regular season, for lack of a better word, comparatively, were horrendous penalty killing wise. 68%. That was worst in the league, and they're even worse in the playoffs. 60%. They've allowed 6 power play goals in 10 tries by the opposition. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sports Chalet, where you'll find the best selection and service with 4 convenient San Diego locations. Sockers will begin this power play with the ball deep in their own zone and with 48 seconds to operate with here in the third period. They lead 4-2 thanks to a wonderful goal by Steve Jungle. A terrible mismatch, really, the rookie Rusty Troy against the wily veteran Jungle. And Jungle with a great ball off the post to put it in. A goal now would be huge for the Sockers. Here's Crow. Chips it over to Steve Jungle. Plenty of time here in this period. 40 seconds. Carriage pressured by Freddie Thompson. Gets rid of it to Jungle. Steve stepped on it a little bit. Over to the far post. Dougherty off the side of the post, and it came back out. Nogueira will settle it at the red line. 21 to go in the period. The power play will spill over into the fourth, obviously, if the Sockers don't score here. Hermes back for Crow. Now Carriage with 9 seconds to go. Jungle deep for Hermes. Back for Jungle. Little past him. Carriage on the way back, a drive. Here's Hermes with 2 seconds to Crow. Shoots at the buzzer. Manning goes upstairs, but it was off the mark. Sockers power play looked very good there. Just a tap of the foot or a bounce of the ball away from a power play goal. A minute 12 to go on the power play when we come back, but we're at the end of 3. Here's one out. Are they going to bring this one to the top of the D? Let's wait and see. As McAllis looks on, they will call it kick in.
An on and off series for Gus, but I think now down towards the end of the game is when he buckles in. 31 games, 4 goals, 9 assists. Offense has been off of it. This is playoff career. Many of those games, of course, with San Diego the last 2 years. Saw brief playoff appearances with the Lasers a couple of times.
Bronson leaves it as Sweeney gets set to step on. In front, they score. Ronson.
You know, it's almost eerie. Kenny Cooper's team now, he's kissing Blarney Stones, you can bet. Billy Ronson hasn't done much, and now all of a sudden on a great set, Ronson gets the ball and fires it in first time, and that was the key. Billy Ronson right off of the pass with the left foot, and he acknowledges the crowd. It's in the corner. Sweeney. San Diego thought he was going to wrap it around the boards, and everybody was glued into that corner. Ronson snuck by Quinn and fired it. That's just a great pass by Sweeney. Give him credit. See Ronson, he's backing up. San Diego doesn't see him backing up. They still think he's on his hip. Now all of a sudden he'll tuck it in the near post. So Billy Ronson, the diminutive one, gets lost at the far side of the box and scores. It's 4-3 with 9:16 left.
Unbelievably, Bill, as we see Ronson's numbers now. the same two people keep killing San Diego. It's Ronson and Mobilio. It's like a broken record.
Yeah, and it's Ronson late and Mobilio throughout to the veteran Steve Jungle. Of course, he has the goal that could prove to be the game winner tonight, that fourth goal, and he has 186 points to lead. To look at the list, Hoskevy's here tonight, Segoda's on the soccer, Jungle's number one. Most of these, of course, San Diego players, and Wilrich, Quinn, and V. That's up and down the list, all the superstars in the Major Indoor Soccer League. But Jungle, he may never be caught.
That goal by Steve tonight, incidentally, was his 111th in his postseason career. Here's Black sending one in. Fogarty, who's been matched up with Black frequently, sends it back in for Byrne. Nogueira way out of the goal. Byrne trying to work it for Sweeney. Sweeney out of the corner. Comes free in front, and Dougherty will side-foot it into the Baltimore bench. This will come back in blast ball with 4:02 left, and Nogueira is in no man's land there.
One of the most impressive players on the floor for either team has been Paul Dougherty, and you really cannot complain about his work rate, and that was what has made him such a good force here. And now it's sixth attacker time. You look at Dougherty's numbers, 7 and 14.
And the Blast are doing it on a guaranteed timeout here. They're not using up their timeout to get Byrne in as the extra attacker. So there's a good strategy move by Kenny Cooper.
Yeah, he has that timeout to be saved in case they need it for a corner kick late in the game. That's when they'd use it down with about a minute or so. So he pulls them pretty early here with 4:02 to play.
He senses that Baltimore has the Sockers on the ropes again a little bit here.
Six attacker goals, 7-6. Six attacker goals, we'll get that right, in 7 playoff games. And of course Byrne, who had that job last night again here. And again, it holds true. If you're going to get beat out on top. Don't get beat at the back, especially by number 18. Oh, you'll never live with it.
Right now, Ron Newman doesn't have a runner out there who can maybe exploit that open net. Here's Valentine trying to do it at the other end. To the middle, a chance for Ronson, blocked by Nogueira. Ralph Black missed the chance to clear. Now here's Fernandez toward the open net. It caroms behind Alan Willie to the right side. He immediately is converged upon by 3 Blast players and taken down. No foul. What a chance for Ronson in front to tie.
Now you've got to pressure the sixth attacker, Randy. You can't let him come into the red line and set up. It's the responsibility of Willie, Fernandez, and Black to pressure Byrne a little bit.
But without speed out there right now, who's going to recover if Byrne gets by that pressure man?
Well, you can't just let him walk in.
Here's a chance. Hoskevy through the legs of Black. Nogueira comes way out, but Crow is there to save it. Now Kevin in trouble, needs help. Willie comes in, blocks it. It's still free. Hoskevy was held. There's a San Diego foul.
That's a good call by Kelly Mock, because Hoskevy was about to prance on the ball.
Quick restart. Byrne to Ronson. Missed the chance. Here's Hoskevy chipping far post. He got too much under it. Lifts it out. Boy, the Sockers are clinging to this lead.
Baltimore is extremely effective in the sixth attacker offense. They have so many people that they can move around to different places, too. They're interchangeable, and that's what's important. There's Hoskevy, and there's Ronson, who was robbed by Nogueira just a moment ago at the back post. And now they'll change up a little bit. With San Diego on the ball, the defensive unit will come out, which includes Metric and Savage. But you can rest assured they'll be straight off as soon as Baltimore gets the ball back.
We are witnessing just a great championship series, and we're only 2 games deep. This is great stuff. We waited all year for this. San Diego and Baltimore, at least many of us did, and we're getting what we expected.
That's 3 lines.
It is a 3-line violation. They'll bring it back. Those are mistakes the Sockers can ill afford to make at this point. 2:58 left. They keep letting Baltimore back in the door. Valentine stands over it. The restart to Mobilio. Back for Valentine. The sixth attacker in for the Blast. Hoskevy to Freddie Thompson. Tipped away. Now Hermes falls. Hoskevy continuing on out of the corner. Dangerous spot and over the head of Mobilio. That's how they tied it at the back post last night.
Paul Wright was there, but it went over him.
Here's Byrne. The shot wide. Rebound. Chance in front. Paul Wright steps up. Can't get it back into the midfield. Here's Thompson. Hoskevy alone in the corner. The diving effort. The header. They score.
witnessing just some amazing stuff by the Baltimore Blast. This is championship stuff. That's why they were the regular season champions. Freddie Thompson with the head ball. He'll start it out on top. Into the corner will go. Paul Wright makes the play. He's out of the play now. Out in front it goes, and Freddie Thompson can't do anything about it. It goes off of Kevin Crowe. Rub those Blarney Stones. Kiss them all you want, because it's going Baltimore's way, baby. Freddie Thompson off of Crowe. Own goal. Tied up at 4. 2:27 left.
The Sockers' Bill McDonald, as Kenny Cooper congratulates Freddie Thompson on his 5th goal of the playoffs. The Sockers must now try and get to overtime because Baltimore is on fire. Baltimore now with 7 6-attacker goals in the playoffs. Boy, when they've needed them, they've come.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time, it seemed.
Here's Fernandez over the head of Cacho. Hoskevy trying to work it up the wing, and he does. Cacho back to Ralph Black. Sockers have Karich and Hermes up front. Here's Fernandez up the wall for Hermes. Karich trying to hold it. Does. And tied up by Metric. 5th foul blast. Boy, they don't want to take a penalty into overtime. There's 35 seconds left.
Right, Randy. You got to go right at him. You've only got 2. And when was the last time the Sockers had a good offensive chance?
And now the foul goes the other way. Hermes pushing off of Fogarty. So that takes away, I think, that opportunity to draw another foul. 33 seconds left. Handball, but they don't call it on Byrne. Here's Fernandez. He's got Karich. At the left, the shot. Off the wall. Dougherty trailing. Blocked by Byrne. Another drive. And that's blocked. All the bounces going Baltimore's way. Here's Dougherty with 16 seconds left in regulation. Cacho at center. Drives a left footer. Dougherty on the rebound. Trying to turn it for a shot. Cleared out by Metric. Here's Cacho in front. Left footer bouncing. Trying to keep it going. 2 seconds left. And in front, Karich misses at the buzzer. And we go to overtime again.
The Blast got a break. A handball at midfield wasn't called. But you figured it had to be extremely flagrant if it was going to be.
Sudden death for the 2nd straight night here in the championship series. Now, while we have a moment here before the overtime, let's pause for a moment so that our stations...
When Juan Hermes scored 12 seconds in to the second half, you thought maybe San Diego had the game. They led 3-0. But Baltimore chipped away, and down by 2 goals in the 4th quarter. They came back to send it to the extra period. Here are the 2. Sweeney to Ronson out in front, and Ronson on the redirect at the 5:44 mark of the 4th quarter had Baltimore to within 1. And then with the 6th attacker on, David Byrne in the uniform, a fortunate goal for Baltimore, but give them credit. They were banging away on San Diego in the corner. Hoskevy chipped it. Freddie Thompson with the header off of Kevin Crowe, in the celebration again for the Baltimore Blast. They tie it up at 4. That came late in the contest for Freddie Thompson. A big one, and we go to sudden death, tied at 4. And 2 times tonight, Randy, you thought San Diego had it won. At 3-0, and when Jungle scored to make it 4-2, you figured, hey, that's enough, that's it, but Baltimore came back.
What they've done here tonight and in this series, the Blast, is amazing. Can they win 2 in overtime? Well, the Sockers had the worst overtime record in the regular season at 2-10. They thought they had turned it around in the playoffs until last night. The Blast, on the other hand, had a tremendous regular season overtime record at 7-3, and they're perfect in the postseason.
1 against Wichita, 1 against San Diego.
And they'll have it from the kickoff as we're set to begin overtime. On the simulcast, Sockers defending the net to our right, attacking right to left. Ron Newman sends out Quinn, Wright, Crowe, Hermes, and McAllis. For Baltimore, it's Sweeney, Byrne, Ronson, Metric, and Savage.
If somebody's going to rise up for San Diego, it may be Hermes. He's had a game tonight, 2 goals, and they need his big shot here in the OT.
Well, the Sockers win it from the kickoff, and here's Hermes with it. Back to Nogueira. Ironically, both tying goals have gone off Kevin Crowe. Last night it went off him up to Mobilio, who headed it in for the tie. Tonight it went directly in off Crowe. Quinn kicking at Manning at the loose ball. No foul on the play. Sweeney will get it away from McAllis and up the field. Here's Byrne. Ronson takes a dive after being shoved far. Seen that earlier. Jungle, 1-on-2. Back for Jungle from Willie. That one just off the mark. Steve to the open net. They score! It's over. San Diego wins. Eagle.
What an unbelievable play by Jungle.
And the Sockers race to the locker room.
Oh, they stole one, Randy.
It's over, and San Diego has the home field advantage just out of nothing. Unbelievable.
That's just a great play by Jungle. He did it all by himself. The lead pass was too far, but Jungle never gave up, and he wins it for the Sox, and they're going home even.
Oh my, that is one of the freakiest overtime winners we've witnessed. And we are even at a game each. And the way things were going, we thought we'd be talking about history repeating itself from 24 hours ago. The Sockers bolted off the field. In fact, only Dougherty, Hermes, and Willie are left. The rest of them shot into the locker room, which has to be an absolutely elated room right now. San Diego wins in overtime, 5-4. We're
going to do it again, but you stole it right back.
I just told the guys, to keep confident, and hey, if we ask, to be for tie game in going over, everybody would accept that. That means why? Just be brave, play your style of the soccer, and just go after them.
You had 2 goals tonight. Let's talk about the game winner. You started the end-to-end rush. You were all by yourself, it seemed. Nobody was with you, and you were looking around saying, where is everybody? All of a sudden, you found a pass, and then you went right to the goal.
I stole the ball in the middle, and I was looking for some support, and I saw Alan on the side, and I expect the ball perfect to me, but was too wide. You see, I was yelling on him, but I saw the goalkeeper coming out, and I challenged him, and I got that rebound and just rolled the ball over, trying to get, somebody and rolling into the net.
It certainly wasn't pretty. I'm still not sure how the ball went in. Where did you hit it off of your leg?
Just a perfect, I guess this was my touch. Too many years to be in this league, I got it. Find out a little touch.
All right, you're entitled to that. The Steve Jungle touch, you saw it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I was impressed with the goal that gave you a 4-2 lead. Great pass by Nogueira, who came out gunning.
Was a great pass. I was one-on-one. I guess, was a Troy defender, and I forced him to right on a goalkeeper. When he was in a line with goalkeeper, I took the shot in the nearest corner, and was very hard for the goalkeeper to save the shot.
Now, what is going through your mind and your teammates' mind? Here it is last night. You have the game won, it seems, and they come back and they tie. Same scenario. You're going into overtime. What can you possibly be thinking?
I guess this series in Baltimore is going to give us some kind of lesson that next time when we are going to have that lead to the end of the game, that we shouldn't or call timeout or learn to not panic, kind of just being afraid of them and dropping back, making mistakes. Don't play our soccer, and we have to try to avoid that. And hopefully next time when we got that lead, we're going to keep it.
Okay, next time will be Friday night at home in game number 3. Not only will you have your fans on your side, but it appears as though Bronco will be back too.
I hope my buddy is going to be back and he's healthy. He's working on the beach, as he promised me. And I wish him all the best, and we definitely going to need him on that game.
Steve, thanks for the visit. You did it again.
Thank you very much.
Steve Jungle, the hero, he gets the game winner, and for being with us, he will receive a gift certificate from Diamond Design. Take a look at the final stats in this contest as the Sockers win. Shots on goal, San Diego outshoots Baltimore 29-27. Blocks were pretty even, 10-12. Saves also even, 13 for Nogueira, 12 for Scott Manning. Only one power play opportunity the Sockers could not convert, but they certainly converted when they needed to at the end in overtime. A jungle from Willie, and the Sockers even the series at 1 apiece with a 5-4 win. Back with more in a moment.